Nemo, one more check with you. You need to come?
Yep, all yours.
All right, thank you. And Baker and Joe, let's start at UCA. It's a negative 110 stroll.
All right, Mark, we copy that. We'll go back to latch 2.
Thank you.
Joe Okaba and Scott Tingle again at the controls of the station's robotic arm, going to rotate the latching end effector one more time, give Mark Vande a good view of all the different latches that he's been applying grease to over the past hour or so, part of one of the get-ahead tasks that are assigned at the end of the primary task of moving those latching end effectors around the station, which were completed in under 3 hours today. With a lot of time at hand, Mark Vande can spend some time double-checking some of his work. In the meantime, while Norishige Kanai at the node 2 right now on the other end of the station's robotic arm, you can see the latching end effector there on his left from this point of view, continuing to work on getting those ground straps installed.
Well, that's UCA complete.
GCA complete. And we have brakes on.
Thank you.
Okay, Houston, I got the strap in my hand.
We see that. So you can install the grounding strap, the Velcro strap, open the fastening mechanism, open the clamp, and install it over the lee latch gearbox lid. And make sure that the label is on the outside visible, and belt 2 goes under the handrail.
Roger that. And just for the confirmation, things is touching to the seam on the lee side, correct?
Stand by. So Nemo, we like the clamp hinge with the MLI blanket seam on the lee.
Yes. The hinge and the seam on the lee blanket is touching.
Nemo, so just to confirm, you're saying that it's touching bare metal?
So I'm thinking about the orientation of the ring. The hinge is closest to the lee seam, or lee itself.
Stand by.
The latch number 2 is complete. Nemo, when the comms available, I'm ready for the next GCA.
Go ahead.
And Aki, are you ready?
Yeah, stand by 1 second. So for Nemo, that ring, I understand on one side you have a label, right? A marking?
I'm not talking about the label. I'm talking about the hinge and the opening side of the
Copy.
ring.
So the hinge will be closer to the lee. The opening should be towards you.
Like that. Okay. Like that.
And Mark, with that, I think we're good with you having the comm.
Okay, thanks. Let's start at GCA. Negative 70 degrees, wrist roll.
You got it. Didn't work. And the arm's coming in motion.
Copy. Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
Complete.
Copy, GCA complete. And brakes are on.
Thank you.
So Nemo, Norishige, Kanai continuing to work on one end of the station's robotic arm, mostly with soft fabrics, working with belts and ground straps and really getting the latching end effector on that side secure. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mark Vande taking his time, making sure that all of the grease has been properly applied to that end of the station's robotic arm, that latching end effector B. Still ahead of the schedule by quite a lot, only 4 hours and 38 minutes into this planned 6.5 hour EVA, looking at additional get-ahead tasks that they can complete while the two spacewalking astronauts are outside.
Houston, B2?
Go ahead, Nemo.
Yes. The space between the lead ports and the lead itself is too small to put in the hinge part. So basically, I cannot put down the in between the port and the lead body.
Copy, Nemo. Stand by.
Match 1 complete. I'll stand by for you to give me the comm.
And Nemo, just a clarification. So is there any MLI that's interfering for you to close that clamp?
Yes, MRA is also part of the reason. It's fatty and I cannot put in the ring.
So is the ring too small to go around that that interface?
Negative. The distance between the ring, distance between the this boat and the lee body is too short to put in the hinge mechanism.
Understand. Stand by.
Kanai again working with soft fabrics as he installs the ground straps and gets the lee A side secure as part of one of these get ahead tasks. Part of the soft fabrics you'll hear MLI, that's a multi-layer insulation, refers to some of the soft fabrics that he's working with.
Yeah, we're talking about Nemo's situation here with the clamp. So you have the comm.
Okay, we'll start at GCA. Wrist roll, negative 110 degrees.
Okay, Mark, copy. We'll start that GCA.
Mark Vande again, still on the portable foot restraint that's attached to the external platform, looking at the latching end effector. He's talking with Joe Akaba and Scott Tingle on the inside that are currently working with the station's robotic arm to rotate that latching end effector, which you're seeing now.
Okay, complete.
Stand by, Mark. Is that good? We can sweeten it up again.
If you could bring it back a positive a little bit, that'd be fine.
We got a number. We'll take it there. That should be a little better, hopefully.
All right, GCA complete.
Complete.
That's good news.
Copy GCA complete. Mark, Nemo, did you say you got it on?
Yes, I did. It's very close, tight. Yes, but somehow I managed to attach it.
Awesome. And you do have metal-to-metal contact?
Yes.
Hey, great job, Nemo.
Great job.
And for Mark, just confirmation, you got 3 out of 4 latches and all 4 beads?
4 beads on latches 1, 2, and 3. I'm working on 4 now.
Copy that. Thank you.
Norishige Kanai successfully working with that clamp as he continues to complete the task of securing down those ground straps on the lee A side of the station's robotic arm, and on the other side, Mark Vande going around again to each of the latching end effectors and applying grease to the linear bearings, just an added maintenance task to again maintain the quality of that latching end effector. Still ahead of the timeline, only 4 hours 44 minutes into today's spacewalk, looking at extra get-ahead tasks that could be completed before the planned 6.5-hour spacewalk today.
Okay, I have another problem.
Go ahead, Nemo.
How can I close this ring? Ring is closed, so we have a metal part and a Velcro part, and it's very complicated.
Stand by.
Okay, all the linear bearing tracks on all 4 latches are complete.
Copy that. Great job, Mark. You can do some photo survey, take pictures of all the latches and the center ball screw.
Okay, I'll do my best. All right, so some of these pictures are going to be taken blind, though, unless I start doing another GCA.
Copy that. And then if you can make sure the grease gun is cleaned up, that would be great.
Grease gun is cleaned up. The pipe is quite well used up now.
Copy.
Okay, I managed to close the ring. It's like an origami.
Copy, Nemo. Thank you. You're the origami master.
Yes, and since I am closed this ring, I can remove the red from the back, correct?
Yes, you can remove the red.
Yes, it's secured on the ring. Ring is secured on the ring.
Yep, so you can remove the red and then work on the straps.
That. Hey, Mark, I'm almost there. How about you?
I'm taking some closeout photos over here.
Oh, you won.
No, I think we're both winning.
Aha.
We're on the same team.
Yes.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Agreed. Big team.
Okay. Houston, I have a request.
Go, Nemo.
Can I finish inventory of the bag and close out the bag because it's wide open and on my way.
Go ahead with the inventory of the bag.
And Aki, that photo survey is complete. You want a WVS survey?
We'll take it.
Here's latch 4.
Jackson, are you ready for the inventory?
And Mark, you can press pretty quick. The light's not optimum, so we'll take what we can. And Nemo, we're ready for the inventory.
So here it is.
Okay, I have long tie-down tether, directory assets. I have a small fitting rack with bracket, 2-inch socket attached. I have a small rack with empty scoop, and I have adjustable and the scoop and the rack together, and I have one small fitting. Sorry.
Nemo, good inventory. Thank you. You can close the bag and work the rest of the FMS ground strut.
Roger that.
And Mark, when you're done, you can stow the grease gun, secure the BLT, and we'll take inventory of the crew lock bag.
Okay, I've got 3 wipes. One of them with a wipe with a, let me be a little more systematic about this. So, internal to the bag. Well, did I just interrupt your inventory?
I am good.
Okay. So, Aki, I've got an integral ret on a EVA wipe, another integral ret on an EVA wipe, and a small ret, an EVA wipe. That one came with a wire tie attached, and it's attached to the BLT. On the outside of the bag, the BLT is connected via a small ret, and the grease gun connected via a small ret. There's also 2 wire ties connected to the inside of the crew lock bag, hold down the BLT. There are 2 wire ties on the outside of the crew lock bag to hold down the BLT. Very complete.
Good inventory, Mark.
That's it. Okay. Hopefully I said 2 wire ties for the grease gun, 2 wire ties for the BLT.
Copy that.
Okay.
Okay.
And Mark, if you are good, we can give the arm a go to maneuver to the lee lube back-off position.
I think that's a great call. I will make sure I'll hold on to everything while it's backing away. So, go and make her your go to back off.
Copy, that's in work.
With that, even with a little extra greasing, the task of applying lube to lee B for Mark Vande, one of the get-ahead tasks today, the same latching end effector that was swapped out back in spacewalk in January, is completed. Communicating with Joe Akaba and Scott Tingle inside at the controls of the robotic arm, about to back it away.
Hey, Mark, great call there. We'll stand by for any arm motion while Nemo's at the base.
Copy, sounds good.
Thank you so much.
We copy, we're standing by.
But before they back up, now we're looking at Norishige Kanai at the other end of the arm. To avoid any sort of issues with the movement of the arm, they're going to hold off until Kanai wraps up his activities at the other end of the robotic arm, putting down some ground straps.
All right, Aki, I've got the plug bag 3 cleaned up.
Copy that.
Translate with it.
Okay, copy that.
While we're waiting for our motion, you okay with me egress from the APFR and moving on?
Yeah, Mark, we were just talking about it. Go to egress the APFR and then reconfigure the APFR low profile and report.
Okay, we'll do.
5 seconds to hand over.
So our spacewalking astronauts are wrapping up some of the get-ahead tasks. Norishige Kanai on the lee A side of the station's robotic arm, working with some ground straps, wrapping up that activity. Once he goes away to the next work site, they'll pull back the station's robotic arm where Mark Vande is at the other end, where he was greasing up some of the internal components of the latching end effector. We have some questions. We're live on NASA TV and on Facebook Live and using the hashtag AskNASA for various questions. We're going to address a few. First one's from Jason, who was talking about the beam module. I guess during one part of the EVA, the beam was on one part of the view. So the Bigelow Expandable Activity Module, that was a technology demonstration to test expandable module technology. That's currently on the aft side, or the back-facing side, of Node 3 Tranquility. That's where the astronauts do some of their exercise. That's where the T2 treadmill is, and where the advanced resistive exercise is, basically the weightlifting device, but also the cupola, where Joe Akaba and Scott Tingle are today at the controls of the station's robotic arm. The Bigelow Expandable Activity Module is actually where one of the latching end effectors that was taken off of the mobile base system, the first one from today's primary activities for the spacewalk, that's where that latching end effector will be stored after both of our spacewalking astronauts go back inside the International Space Station.
And Devo, can we get a WVS survey of your work? And we would like to make sure that all the Velcro flaps are closed.
This is it.
And could you make sure the straps are taut, secure on the lee?
Yes. Payload 2 is under the lee handle. Pretty sure, but I will...
So now that the greasing activities on this end of the station's robotic arm are complete, there you see Mark Vande on the external stowage platform, where he's taking off the portable foot restraint and getting that back in its normal configuration. He's getting set up for some extra get-ahead tasks since they finished their primary task so early. In fact, in less than 3 hours of the scheduled 6.5-hour EVA today. On the other end, Norishige Kanai continuing to work with the Lee A side, the latching end effector, working with some ground straps to get that secured down before he continues some extra get-ahead tasks.
And Nemo, we saw Belt 2 routed a little different than we expected, and we would like it under the lee shroud, so it's taut. Could you verify that it's routed that way?
The shroud. Can I open the shroud?
Negative. It's away from the opening.
Away from the opening, rather that.
Aki, I've got this APFR low profile, but it's covering up SPDM target on the FFC right next to RIF 05. Move it in the other direction, it'll cover up like something else is similar. Staying at RIF 5?
Yeah, it's staying in with 5. We don't have your WVS right now. Stand by.
The only thing I changed was the pitch, and it's now uniform.
Could you, and Mark, could you cycle your WVS? We're not getting video, and check green light.
Yep, I've got a green light. I'll cycle it right now.
Thank you.
Baby 2, paper 2 is lead out, and it's avoided the opening.
Copy, Nemo, standby. Check-in.
Copy, my WVS power cycle is complete.
Copy, standby. And Nemo, thanks for that adjustment. We'd like you to go back and verify the grounding tabs are secured.
Okay.
So Norishige Kanai checking his work at the lee A side of the station's robotic arm, working with some ground straps to get that all secured down. Meanwhile, Mark Vande asked to power cycle his wireless video system, which is now fully operational. Sometimes they lose communications with that. Now we're getting video from both spacewalking astronauts today.
So let me retrieve the bag and it should be ready to go.
Copy. And for Mark, we got your WVS back.
Okay, let me give you a view again.
We see it, Mark. Standby.
Goodbye. And the settings are 6 uniform, Foxtrot.
Copy. Mark, we're good with the H fixture. We just want to make sure that the FRAM is clear of the APFR.
Are you talking on the nadir side?
On the Zenith side.
The FRAM is. About just zenith of 5, correct?
Sorry, I was disoriented. I guess it's the nadir side.
Okay. And that's, okay. I got the FHRC on my left. There's the FSC that we had with the, let me correct that. On the port side, nadir of with 5 is FHRC. On the starboard side of with 5 and nadir, FSC that we just dealt with today with the Lee. What do you want me to check?
Checking.
Okay. Sorry.
No, please, Nemo, go ahead.
P2 is ready to translate.
All right, Nemo, great job. So the translation path for you is from that location, go along the node 2 aft end cone. On the port side, go zenith a little bit, and then there should be a gap spanner between node 2 and the lab. Take that onto the lab. Go continue zenith, and you'll pass the trunnion, and then right after that trunnion, there's a line of handrails on the lab, and take that to the aft and then go up zenith on a gap spanner.
Okay, sounds good. I will ask you when I have questions.
So Norishige Kanai wrapped up actually his get-ahead task of securing those ground straps on the force movement sensor of the lee A side of the station's robotic arm. That was all secure. He did some checks and everything looks good. Now he's translating or moving over to his next work site as Mark Vande works on the external stowage platform to secure the portable foot restraint, which he's been on for most of today's spacewalk, secure it back in place on the external stowage platform. So again, we are live on Facebook and on NASA TV. We have a couple questions coming in. One is from Manish asking, during the spacewalk, if astronauts have certain kinds of training to face difficult situations. The astronauts do a lot of practicing for extravehicular activities. A lot of it is in the neutral buoyancy laboratory where they have full-scale mock-ups of the outside of the space station and can practice all of these tasks in the water at a state of neutral buoyancy where they're not sinking or floating, they're just sort of stationary in the water. It's one of the best simulations for microgravity that we have here on Earth. But we also have a VR lab where astronauts can put on some virtual reality equipment and simulate what it would be like in a virtual environment to do a spacewalk. And in that virtual reality lab, they have certain training for the safer unit that they're both wearing today. This is the simplified aid for rescue that has the ability, if they were for whatever reason to become untethered, which they are usually very good about, but for whatever reason, if they were to be untethered from the space station, could use this simplified aid, this jetpack, to sort of boost their way back to the station. And in the VR lab, they practice that in this scenario that were to happen.
Just Papa.
Copy that. Did a good pull twist test.
Did it before I got hit.
I thought so.
But I haven't changed the...
All right, a quick glove and half check from you, Mark.
Copy.
Okay, EV2 found the jet spinner going up inner.
Copy. And stand by right there, Nemo. We're taking a look at that MLI right in front of you.
Okay, I do have one change. There's more RTV that's come off of that's peeling away from my right index finger. If you can see it or not.
Copy, right index finger.
The top layer is peeling away.
Copy that. And Nemo, you can press continue translating. Thanks for stopping.
Roger that.
I have a dry hat.
Copy, dry hat.
So Mark Vande wrapping up some of his tasks to install the portable foot restraint back on its location on the external platform. Norishige Kanai pausing during his translation or movement back to his next work spot. During the translation, there were some directions for the outside of the station to get from place to place. We have a question from Mary Beth on Facebook who's asking, what are the nadir and zenith sides? These are nautical terms, zenith being if you were looking at the space station orientation in its normal configuration, zenith would be the top, the space-facing side, nadir being the bottom or the Earth-facing side.
No leftover of the power to do another task.
Okay, copy that, Nemo.
Nice job, Nemo.
Thank you.
You're hustling all.
Yes. Maybe I need more air detachment.
Either that or more time on the arm like I had. I recommend you do while you're waiting around is double check all of your items on your mini workstation. Make sure they're where you expected them to be.
Okay. Yeah, good call. Thank you.
All right, so Nemo, you can head back to the airlock. Thank you very much for your work. You guys have been doing a great job today. Mark, just wanted to check on how you're doing, whether you have some reserves in your tank.
Got some reserves. Really haven't been working nearly as hard as had Nemo working.
All right, guys, big picture. So Nemo's been working a lot today, while Mark, you've been on the arm, and what we're thinking right now is, Nemo, you can head back into the airlock, get the bags reconfigured, make sure it's ready for Mark to ingress. In the meantime, Mark, if you are comfortable, we're thinking of you doing the FHRC strut correction, and then think about the rest after that.
I'm happy to do that FHRC strut correction. I'm afraid I'm right below you. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit you with my crew lock bag.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, that's my fault.
Okay. Can I wait for you here?
That's a good spot to go. And I'm going to get config again. Okay, you can go ahead and keep out moving, Nemo.
All right.
So just over 5 hours and 18 minutes into today's spacewalk, our two spacewalkers have completed all of their primary tasks and have been rocking through some of those get-aheads to try to stick with the schedule of keeping to the 6.5 hour planned EVA. Norishige Kanai is on his way back to the airlock and going to clean that up a little and get ready for Mark Vande to get back in. But while Vande is on his way to the airlock, he'll start working on a flex hose rotary coupler, just a small component, and just kind of correct it on his way back. This component is located on the external stowage platform where he's at right now, as you can see from this view. We have one more question from Facebook, I believe. Shay is asking, how does spaceflight affect your bodies over time? There are a lot of countermeasures that can prevent some of the bone and muscle loss that a lot of astronauts see if they were not to work out, but doing aerobic and resistive exercise actually mitigates this. 2.5 hours a day the astronauts dedicate to working out, both weight resistive exercise and also aerobic exercise on a treadmill and a stationary bicycle. Sometimes astronauts even come back stronger and healthier than they did coming back down.
Your green hook isn't out there, is it? Oh, I see it. Wow, that was an unlucky one.
Oh, under motion.
Hey, Mark, while you're there, could you tap on the brake pedals, please?
Yeah, how about when I come back?
That sounds good.
On the way back past it?
Absolutely.
Dino, your tether's coming back to you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem. Looks like it's in a good config.
Alrighty. Lovely.
And Houston and EV crew members, SSRMS is safe and you are good to go.
Copy.
Step maker.
Here's the copies.
Nice job, Nemo. Nice job, Mark. We'll see you in the airlock.
Yep.
All right, Mark. So big picture, we're thinking...
Yeah, my board. Go ahead.
So I understand you're heading back down?
I am.
Copy. So next for you would be the FHRC strut correction at ESP2.
Okay, copy.
And Mark, did you get the brake pedals on the way back?
I only got it on the port seat card. I didn't touch the candles on the starboard seat card. Want me to get back up there?
No, negative. You're good. We were just looking at the port, so you're good. Thank you. So Mark, you're looking at the port side of the FHRC. That's going to be the work site for you.
Copy. Hit.
Does it look familiar?
Starboard side does.
So Mark Vande is back over at the external platform where he spent a lot of time just a little bit earlier on the tip of the foot restraint to apply grease to the inside of the robotic arm that you can see positioned right there. He's going to correct a strut real quick, one of the smaller get-ahead tasks, while Norishige Kanai hangs out at the airlock awaiting to see if maybe they have time for one more or if they're going to go back in the airlock and wrap up today's activities. We have a question from Kevin on Facebook. Is space debris ever a problem during spacewalks? That's why they wear the suits that they do. The extravehicular mobility unit has several layers, some of which includes micrometeoroid protection, and this protection is also on the station itself. The structure of the station is able to protect from micrometeoroid impacts. Anything larger than micrometeoroids are tracked, and if something presents a problem, the station itself can maneuver out of the way ahead of time. If anything, it looks a little bit more dangerous than that. Again, you can continue to ask questions on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Instagram.
I'm at the work site, yep.
All right.
There's a piece of MLI that's floating here now.
And Brooke on Twitter is asking where above Earth they are right now. The International Space Station is 250 statute miles above the Earth, just at the tip of northern Africa over the Sahara, about to enter orbital nighttime. You'll see the outside of the International Space Station slowly start to get darker as they cross over that terminator line.
Oh, this is taped down. That's what the problem was with this. Yeah, the MLI is actually taped down here.
Interesting.
So my recommendation, because I'm not being very successful getting tape off with my fat EVA fingers, use the EVA scissors to cut it. Or let me see if I can get, I'm working it from the opposite side where there's give, and if we can make it some progress.
Hey, Mark, do you think you can pull on the strap to put some leverage on that tape, or maybe a hook?
And that's what I'm trying to do. The hook is a great idea. I'm going to try that too.
Copy.
I'm starting from the strap side now. Trying to get some leverage on it.
Copy.
So Mark Vande, we're getting a view from his helmet camera. Again, he's 18, working with the Flexos rotary coupler. Apparently it's taped down using some ingenuity to try to get it.
The MLI is still intact.
Copy that. Do you think you can rotate that strut?
I'm sure I can. It's rotated. It's got it right in place now.
Awesome. Work at it, and we're done with this task.
And there you go, with a little bit of ingenuity, was able to actually adjust the strut.
Nima, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm good. Still alive.
Can't beat that view, huh?
All right, guys. So if Mark is up to it, I think the next task for you, and this will be the last one we do today, but it's going to be the APFR relocate. If Nemo is, you can hang out outside the airlock or go inside into the airlock.
Okay. I will, so if it's okay, I can open the thermal cover and climb in the airlock.
Rocky, the FHRC strut is complete.
Copy, FHRC complete. And close the FSE MLI Velcro at the end. And Mark, are you okay with continuing with APFR relocate after this?
Sure.
And Nemo, it will be about 20 minutes before Mark comes back to the airlock. Just wanted to confirm if you're good staying inside for that.
Yes. It's okay to open, continuously open the summer cover for 20 minutes.
Stand by. Okay, you can open the thermal cover and go inside the airlock.
That my cover is open and already coming in the airlock and configure inside.
Sounds good, Nemo.
Rocky, this leftover piece of MLI I had to free. It's really supposed to go around the stanchion that we just moved, and got it tethered. The tether's not long enough to get to it anymore, so I just wrapped it around the handrail. I'm not so sure that's a good idea. You see it, the WVS?
Yeah, we see it, and we're good with what you did with it.
Okay.
All right, Mark, great job there. So for the APFR relocate, you're going to retrieve the APFR from the ESP2 forward with 6.
Okay, copy.
2 minutes nighttime.
Thank you.
So as they transition to an orbital nighttime, the International Space Station 251 statute miles over Central Africa right now on a southeasterly course. We'll start seeing the views from the outside of the station getting darker and darker. Quick recap of some of the activities. So Mark Vande and Norishige Kanai are very much ahead of the schedule, able to complete their primary tasks and almost all of the get-ahead tasks today. Mark Vande is going to do one more get-ahead tasks. He has some time, so he's going to relocate portable foot restraint and bring it over to the SETA card. This is another mobile-based system on the truss. Meanwhile, Norishige Kanai will be hanging out in the airlock, sort of gathering himself and also cleaning up the airlock for both of the astronauts and one of the latching end effectors that's currently inside, one of the primary tasks for today, for all of them to come inside the International Space Station. So we have a question from Ragav on Facebook asking why there are mirrors on their gloves. So that's on the sort of inside of their forearms. They have mirrors. They can actually see the reflection of some of the controls on their chest. All of the controls are sort of written backwards, so when you look at the controls in the mirror, they appear normal, and with that they can control and regulate the temperature inside of their extravehicular mobility unit, their spacesuit.
You know what, Aki, I'm thinking it's time for me to call it quits too.
Copy that. That sounds great to us. So you can head back. You are at the airlock, right?
I'm at the airlock, yep.
Okay, EV2, I got the EMORU back. That's inside that small foot. And I have re. Okay, let me configure re in the good position for the another crew lock bag. So my right side waist tether is attached to the internal bearing airlock dealing extender, and it's back on back. I'm in good config.
Sounds good. And Mark, if you can get your bag inside.
Working on that.
Thank you, sir.
I will grab the bag for you.
Thank you. I will still ride to my VRT.
Okay.
Bag is.
All right. I see the bag. Okay.
Ooh.
So, last minute change up from here in Mission Control Houston. Since it is orbital nighttime, instead of moving the portable foot restraint, they're just going to start wrapping up today's extravehicular activity and begin ingress, or basically getting into the crew airlock, close the hatch, and begin repressurization. So with that, once the repressurization begins, that will mark the official end of today's spacewalk. Again, they ran significantly ahead of schedule. What was scheduled as a 6.5 hour spacewalk today, now we're sitting at 5.5 hours. They'll take a couple minutes to get themselves situated. It might take some time, but still running ahead of schedule to wrap up today's EVA.
Back on back. I am safe. You are also release my safety to the anchor.
Okay, I'll get ready to attach your anchor to my waist tether and use my waist tether as a safety tether to you.
Houston, copy.
That's my okay. The small hook on my waist tether is closed and locked on my right D-ring extender.
Copy. You can release Nemo's anchor hook from the airlock forward external D-ring.
Okay, that's in work, and his anchor hook is closed and locked, and my waist tether large hook closed and locked to his anchor hook. I see myself in a good config to undo my anchor hook on my safety tether back. Agree?
Copy and concur, and less than 2 minutes to a handover, but you can release your anchor hook from the handrail 0554, stow in your mini workstation, and ingress the airlock. And for Nemo, you can remove the SU from the stowage pouch and connect it to your DCM.
Look at that. Okay, say, well, you are
Flipped around, aren't I?
your place is facing forward. So basically, you are facing aft.
Roger, I'm just going to finish getting something attached to this thermal cover so I don't have to go chasing after it.
Sure.
Then I'll rotate around.
Yep.
So my waist tether is that way. Okay. Would you agree I should try to rotate to my...
Yes, that's the correct way. Other way.
Other way?
Other way.
Other way, okay.
Yes.
So switching over communication, again, those tracking and data relay satellites, switching visual and audio communication from the International Space Station. Our two spacewalking astronauts getting situated inside the crew lock right now. You were able to see the thermal cover on Mark Vande head as he was getting in. Again, they're beginning their cleanup and ingress procedures to re-enter the International Space Station and wrapping up today's spacewalk. Hopefully a little bit early, it looks like. They were able to rocket through their primary procedures to move some of the latching end effectors around the International Space Station. In fact, one of them is inside the crew lock with them, as well as get a lot of get-ahead tasks done ahead of time. So we've been live on NASA TV and Facebook Live. Philip on Facebook asking how cold it gets when the space station goes into Earth's shadow. Usually during the shadow time, it's negative 200 degrees Fahrenheit. With the sun shining, it can get to positive 200, and that's why they have the thermal protection in their suits and able to regulate their temperature with the mirrors that we were talking about before.
To the right, to the left. All right, let me get my, is that your hand on my foot? Okay. Yeah, actually, that was helpful. Why don't you put your hand on my foot again? All right. So, I'll get in here further. Okay, see that there? Feels like something's keeping my back from coming towards you. Oh, there we go. Whatever it was, that works. Okay. Okay. Thermal cover's closed. Nice.
Copy. Thermal cover
actually,
closed.
wow, we see this Velcro strap.
Yep. Attach the Velcro strap.
I got the Velcro. Now I got to rotate around enough to hit that lever. All right, so I'm going to try to come in low. My hook out here.
So we're seeing the last views from the outside of the International Space Station as we're seeing Mark Vande trying to close that thermal cover and get the hatch closed so they can continue the ingress procedures and wrap up today's extravehicular activity to move some of those latching end effectors. In the meantime, we've been answering questions on Facebook, one of them from Vic. How did the when did the Canadarm get installed on the International Space Station? Well, it was delivered on STS-100 back in April 2001, so we're coming up on the 17-year anniversary of the Canadarm2 being delivered to the space station. James on Facebook asking, what's the box hanging off of his strut, or off of his suit? That might have been during one of the earlier activities, especially Mark Vande working with the lubing activities of the latching end effector. Next to him was a bag called the crew lock bag. Basically, think of it as a tool bag. He was able to put all of his tools necessary for that activity, the BLT, ball screw lubrication tool, the grease gun. All of these tools went into that bag, and he had them easily accessible while he was performing the looping activities.
Anything I can help?
So far.
Okay. Go for it.
How are
Today.
Okay, Aki, I'm jumped the gun a bit. I started closing the hatch before we talked, so
Right.
the hatch is still open but partially closed. Let's pick up again.
Yeah, we're not going to close the hatch just yet. So first, we need you on SCU.
Sorry about that. I jumped the gun.
Yep. So we need you to remove the SCU from the pouch and connect it to your DCM. Make sure it's locked.
E2. Attach and lock.
Let's put that in work. At least now I know I can do it.
And Nemo, do you have your SCU on your DCM and locked?
Yes, attached and locked.
Copy.
Okay, Aki, my DCM is attached. My SCU is attached to my DCM. Closed and latched. Nemo, can you hook this safety tether behind me somewhere so it doesn't drift in front of me?
Hey,
Any miscellaneous handrail?
all right. Me?
Copy SU installed and locked. You can put your water switch to off OFF. Expect a message.
All right.
Water off, EV1.
Give me, if you could, hook. Hey.
Actually, Nemo, I can put it on my mini workstation. I don't know what I was thinking.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay, copy
Okay,
water
and
off.
water switch. Negative, not yet.
That's for EV1 so far.
Okay, copy that.
Two, off.
Copy water off for EV1 and EV2. We're going to have to wait for 2 minutes for until we can close the hatch, so stand by. And while I have you, if you do hear a squeal in your headset while we are repressing, you can go from Pry to Alt on the radio.
EV1.
EV2, copy.
Fantastic job, Nemo.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, gentlemen, 2 minutes is up. So, Mark, verify that the outer hatch is clear of hardware and tethers, and you can close the hatch. And 20 seconds to a short handover.
Hatch is closed and locked.
Very smooth.
So as we switch communications through our satellites, the crew is inside the crew lock. The thermal cover is velcroed down, and they are now beginning the repressurization procedures now at hatch closures, making sure that none of the tethers are obstructing the closing of that hatch. Again, the extravehicular activity today, the spacewalk, will wrap up once we begin repressurization. We're now sitting at 5 hours 50 minutes ahead of our 6.5 hour scheduled spacewalk today.
DCM on the detached and locked EV2.
EV1.
Okay, we had the water switch off OFF for 2 minutes. You guys had the hatch closed and locked. Nemo, on the UIA, check that the oxygen EMU 1 and 2 valves, two switches are open.
Open and open.
Copy. And then you can switch the power EV 1 and 2 switches to on, ON.
Okay. Excuse me, Mark.
Problem.
EV1 is on, 2 is on, and the EMU lights are on.
Copy. EMU LEDs 2 are on, and check that the power EV 1 and 2 volts are 18 to 19.
Okay, EV1 18.9, EV2 18.5. Okay, both 18.5.
Copy. For both of you on the DCM, switch power to SCU and expect the warning tone.
Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Power SCU.
So, SCU.
Copy. And that completes the first portion of the repress cue card. Awesome job again. With everything completed, we got some get-ahead tests completed. Flight's happy, EVA's happy, the robo's happy, and we're all happy here. Congratulations on completing the 208th ISS spacewalk, and especially for Nemo to be the 220th human to conduct the spacewalk. Great job, guys, and お疲れ様でした。
Thank you so much for the support.
Aki, thanks for the great support. Thanks to the whole team and for keeping us safe, making a great plan, working all those painful details, pull this whole thing together. It was a success because of a huge amount of people. So it's a huge honor for Nemo and I to be able to do that, as well as for, I know I'm speaking for Baker and Joe as well. It was great to be a small part of the team in space, representing the whole space team on the ground.
Copy that. Thanks for the great words. And with that, I will hand you over to Joe and Maker inside.
Thanks, Aki. Great work. And over to EV1 and EV2 on your DCM. Step number 1, we're looking for the O2 actuator to press.
Work. Good work.
So some congratulatory words from Aki Hoshide, who has guided the 2 spacewalking astronauts through today's procedures. That wraps up his role as the ground IV for the spacewalking activity, now handing over to the 2 astronauts who have been at the controls at the station's robotic arm for most of the day through those activities, now in the airlock, making sure that the astronauts are going to go through repressurization procedures. Again, once the airlock starts repressurizing, that's when the spacewalk today will officially end.
Stand by. Sorry, Mark.
No problem.
Okay, auto actuator repress, EV2.
Okay, copy that. And Mark, we're looking to check the EV hatch. MPEV is closed.
That MPEV is closed.
Okay, Mark and Nemo, we're going to start manipulating the equalization valve out here. And just a heads up that when the crew lock is at 4.0, you can expect an alert tone. And when the crew lock is at 5, we'll continue on with the steps, which will start off by closing the equalization valve.
Measure that. 1.
Okay, here comes the valve. And EV1 and 2, if the rate starts getting a little too fast, let me know. I'm going to try to take it slow for you.
Thank you. The one copies.
And with that, repressurization is underway. That stops our spacewalk timer. We're timing out at 5 hours, 57 minutes, bringing the wrap-up time for today's spacewalk at 11:57 a.m. Central Time. Again, repressurization is underway. You see Scott Tingle there monitoring the repressurization, and on the, I guess, ceiling is Joe Akaba also working to bring these guys back inside the airlock today. It's a slow and steady race. Crew airlock is repressurizing from vacuum, now passing about 0.8 psi and rising again. The first checkpoint will be at 4 psi. They'll do a check and make sure everything is okay, no leaks or anything. The EVA today, again, the spacewalk time, the official time was 5 hours, 57 minutes, wrapped up at 11:57 a.m. Central Time today after a 6 a.m. start.
EV1 and 2, how are you feeling?
Feeling good.
Very good.
Excelente. EV1 and 2, we are at 262, and we're going to hold there for 2 minutes and let the pressure stabilize a little.
E. Copy.
So as the astronauts are walking through the repressurization procedures, getting ready to open that hatch and bring the astronauts in, a couple stats for you. This was the 208th spacewalk in support of International Space Station Assembly and Maintenance, the third spacewalk conducted at the International Space Station this year. For Mark Vande, this is his fourth in his career, totaling 26 hours 42 minutes. It's a first for Kanai, 5 hours and 57 minutes, the duration of today's spacewalk. Today's spacewalk, added with all totaling spacewalk hours, brings it to just over 1,300 hours, 1 minute of spacewalking time. Specifically for Expedition 54, over those 3 spacewalks conducted have totaled 21 hours, 34 minutes. 2 of those were performed by the United States, and the others are U.S. crew members, and the other one was a Russian spacewalk. Again, 21 hours, 34 minutes for the Expedition 54 crew. Back in the airlock, Scott Tingle, you can see at the bottom of your screen checking off some of the procedures as Joe Akaba hangs off the roof, hangs off the side of the equipment lock, getting ready to open the hatch and bring our crew members in.
Houston Station on Space to Ground 1, just letting you know that P1 259.4, P2 258.8, moving into step number 8.
Copy and concur, Joe. You have a go to step into step 8.
EV1 and 2, check switch for your glove heaters off.
Hey,
EV1, glove heaters off.
EV2 off.
And check gloves for contamination.
EV1, nothing but grease, otherwise no contamination.
EV2, no contamination.
Okay, I'm a fellow grease monkey, so grease doesn't qualify as contamination.
I agree.
Looking good there. We're in step number 10. Take your O2 actuator to IV.
Work.
Work. EV1s, O2 actuators and IV.
EV2 IV.
Copy that. We're moving into step 11, and we're going to open up the valve and expect the alert tone.
EV1.
EV2.
Crew lock is now stabilized at 5 psi. They're continuing through the repressurization process to bring it back up to the station's 14.7 and open the hatch, get these guys in. Just a quick correction from the stats earlier. Total spacewalking time was not quite 1,300 hours, sitting at 1,299 hours and 59 seconds, which equates to 53 days, 27 hours and 59 minutes. 1,299 hours, 59 minutes, which equates to 53 days, 27 hours, 59 minutes.
And EV1 and 2, how's that rate for you?
Very comfortable for EV1.
EV2, no problem.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for asking.
So repressurization is underway, restarting and passing just about 8.5 psi and rising to the station's pressure of 14.7.
EV1 and 2, we're getting ready to open the hatch. Just want to make sure that you're clear of the hatch.
EV1's clear.
Okay, EV2, I'll make sure that is clear.
I'll make myself small, you know.
Say again?
I said I'll make myself small, you know. Do you want to pull backwards or not?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's far enough. You guys are good.
Yep.
So the crew lock pressure is stabilizing at the pressure of the International Space Station. You can see Scott Tingle with gloves and goggles to make sure there's no debris that's going to be affecting him as he opens up the hatch and reveals the two spacewalking astronauts and the latching end effector inside.
Use an airlock on 1. You guys can take step 4.
That doesn't work, Joe.
Akaba carrying one of the crew equipment bags that they use to put in some spares during some of the tasks of today's spacewalk, taking it past the camera, get it out of the way so they can bring the two spacewalking astronauts, Mark Vande and Norishige Kanai, back into the equipment lock and get those suits off. Squeezing past the latching end effector on the right, first is Norishige Kanai, squeezing his way back into the equipment lock.
Airlock Houston, no response required. Step 4 is complete.
Kanai now in the equipment lock. First step to get those suits off is to take off the simplified aid for EVA rescue, the jetpack that they would use in case they became, in the unlikely event that they became untethered during the spacewalk. And there's the safer folded up nicely. They're going to temporarily stow it out of the way so they can get the rest of Kanai's suit off. First bringing him into orientation so they can start taking off gloves and the camera light assembly and helmet.
Mark, we're coming in for you now.
So now they've secured Kanai into position. He still has tools, gloves, hats, and everything off, but they just want to get Mark Vande, who's behind the latching end effector, the 500-pound latching end effector that Akaba is maneuvering with ease as Tingle behind him gets Vande oriented to get just past the latching end effector and back into the equipment lock to start taking off some of his suit, including the same as Kanai just did, the safer unit, the simplified aid for EVA rescue that they would use in the event that they would become untethered during today's spacewalk. Tingle again taking Vandehigh's safer unit off and temporarily stowing it out of the way, giving them plenty of room to start taking off their suits, their gloves, some of the tools that you see on their chest, helmets, camera light assemblies, the lot. You saw the crew exchanging some congratulations. Great work by the crew today. 5 hours and 57-minute spacewalk. Less than 3 hours getting all of their primary tasks out of the way and getting lots of get-ahead tasks accomplished before even the total allotted EVA scheduled time of 6.5 hours. Exchanging congratulations for a job well done from the crew inside and out. As part of the procedures for taking off those suits, Joe Akaba with camera at hand, taking photos of the gloves to see about any scuff marks or any potential scratches on the gloves, and documenting that for future EVAs to learn some best practices and document any mishaps that may have happened.